Russia has prepared its fleet to launch nuclear-tipped missile strikes against targets in Europe. The Financial Times reports this, citing secret documents it has obtained. They say that the Russian fleet is trained to fire nuclear-tipped missiles at targets deep in Europe in the event of a potential conflict with NATO. Even before Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine, the military provided NATO officers with maps of likely targets, some as far away as the west coast of France and Barrow-in-Furness in the UK. The documents show how Russia envisioned a conflict with the West and planned a series of overwhelming strikes against Western Europe. The secret documents, compiled between 2008 and 2014, include a list of targets for missiles that could carry both conventional warheads and tactical nuclear weapons. Russia has retained the ability to deploy nuclear weapons on surface ships, which experts say carry significant additional risks of escalation or accidents. The documents also note that the Navy's high maneuverability allows it to carry out sudden and preemptive strikes and massive missile strikes from multiple directions. Nuclear weapons are generally intended to be used in combination with other weapons to achieve Russia's goals, the documents say. The publication notes that the documents were provided by Western sources. Analysts who have reviewed them say the contents are consistent with how NATO assesses the threat of long-range missile strikes from the Russian Navy and the speed with which Russia is likely to resort to nuclear weapons. The publication notes that the maps were made more for presentation purposes than for operational use. They depict 32 NATO targets in Europe. The Baltic Fleet's targets are located mainly in Norway and Germany, including the naval base in Bergen, as well as radar stations and special forces facilities. The Northern Fleet is expected to hit defense industry sites such as the submarine yard at Barrow-in-Furness in northwest Britain. At the same time, former NATO official William Alberk, who now works at the Stimson Center, said that this sample is only a small part of the hundreds, if not thousands, of targets mapped across Europe. Russia's ability to strike across Europe means targets across the continent will be at risk once the Russian military engages NATO forces in the Baltics and Poland, analysts and former military officials say. Their concept of war is total war. They see these things as potentially victorious weapons. They will want to use them, and they will want to use them fairly quickly, said Jeffrey Lewis, a professor at the Middlebury Institute of International Studies in Monterey. Tactical nuclear weapons have a shorter range and are less destructive than the large strategic ones intended to attack the United States. However, they can still release significantly more energy than those dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima in 1945. The Ukrainian forces destroyed a Russian Su-34 in the Kursk region during a night combat mission, according to the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. The report says the forces and means of the anti-aircraft missile troops of the Air Force of Ukraine destroyed a Russian Su-34 fighter bomber in the Kursk region during a combat mission. The work to eliminate the occupiers, their equipment, and weapons continues unabated, the General Staff says. It is first fighter bomber that Ukrainian forces destroyed in a Russian Kursk region. Ukrainian forces destroyed a Russian helicopter in Kursk region also. A first-person view drone operated by the Security Service of Ukraine hit a Russian military helicopter in mid-air in Kursk Oblast. Recall: the Su-34 is a Soviet/Russian all-weather, twin-seat fighter bomber designed to carry out precision missile and bomb attacks against ground targets in operational and tactical depth, and to hit air targets. Technical characteristics: maximum speed at high altitude, 1,900 km per hour, maximum speed near the ground, 1,400 km per hour, range, 4,000 km, combat radius, 1,100 kilometers.